If you've ever been worried about someone squaring up to you, getting up in your face, being aggressive, making threats, then don't worry, because in this video, we're going to give you a process to follow to help you deal with those situations as effectively as you can.
Up until very recently, 10 to 15 years ago, when someone was threatening me or coming to punch me or something, I freeze to death. And no matter how good I was at boxing or at kickboxing or martial arts, I still freeze. Honestly, inside my mind, I surrender! I beg for my life, someone call my mom! It took me many years of my life to control that sensation. How do I do it nowadays? How I fight off that panicky sensation that frees me? Following the process. But we are talking about today.
Now, the first part of that process is so important that if you don't get it right, you might as well forget about the rest of it because you're not going to be able to do it anyway. And that is to control your own mindset. Now, chances are you're from an environment where you're not used to people coming up to you, screaming at you, shouting at you, threatening you. So if somebody is getting in your face and making threats, you're probably going to panic, you're probably going to start hyperventilating, you're probably going to freeze or do something really stupid. So the very first thing you need to do is calm yourself down. I don't care how you go about doing that, whatever works for you. You need to make a conscious effort to calm yourself down so then you can move on to the next step. Now on to the next part of the process. Regardless of who you are dealing with and what they want, there is a universal position that you need to get yourself into when you are dealing with anybody, regardless of their intentions. In our training, we call it the conversation stance. Now, the first part of the conversation stance is aiming for 2 meters of distance. Why 2 meters of distance? Because if I'm 2 meters away from someone, they can't kick me, they can't punch me, and they can't grab me either. Now, it might be that 2 meters of space is impossible. You might be in a confined space like an underground or a corridor. That's fine. Just think, whatever distance you are away from the person, you need to keep in mind the weapons that they have at each distance. So for example, if I'm maybe 1.5 meters away, I know I'm in his kicking range. So I need to pay extra attention to his feet and his stance. If I'm a little bit closer, well, now I need to worry about his hands and I need to pay attention to his hands and his shoulders. And if I'm super close, the next part of the conversation stance is your hands. I don't care exactly where you put your hands, whatever's most comfortable for you, doesn't matter. As long as they are in front of you, they are open and they're visible. Caveat, do whatever you like with your hands, except this. Don't do that, because A, you can get punched in the face, or B, you can grab your fingers and snap them off. Don't sacrifice this hand by putting it too close to the attacker. When you're keeping your hands up, yeah, do whatever you want with them, but keep them nice and close to your chest. And the final part of your stance is your feet. So you want to drop back into a stance that could make it easy for you to get into a fighting stance, but it's subtle enough that you're still having a conversation, you're still engaging. Now, the next part of the process is to try to de-escalate. If you want to learn about the detail of de-escalation tactics, there's a link in the video description. You can go to our personal safety framework course, but the principles for now, just for this video, are try to reason with the person and try to de-escalate in an assertive way. If you turn around and you're apologetic, oh, please don't hurt me, I'm so sorry, you're going to make yourself look more vulnerable and you're going to give confidence to the attacker to hurt you even more. Try to reason with them, apologise if you need to apologise, don't let your ego get the better of you, but make sure you're doing so in an assertive way. Now, 99% of the time, the problem will end here. You will have successfully de-escalated and that's it. However, if the escalation fails and you can see that your attacker is becoming more aggressive and they look like they're about to hurt you, then what I want you to do is to take one big intentional step back and I want you to shout a command. Back away! Shouting a verbal warning is so important and it does 2 things. First of all, it attracts witnesses. If we are in an environment like this, people might not see that Raul is threatening me and they might only see me hitting him, right? Then I've got an environment full of people that think I'm the aggressor because I've just hit someone. By shouting, I'm alerting witnesses to what's going on, and then if something happens, they can say, oh, actually, officer, Ryan was defending himself. Raul was the problem. The second thing that it does is it startles Raul. Nobody is used to being shouted at, so if I scream, back away, it could startle him for a second. That's going to give me a chance to maybe reach for my improvised weapon or get away. Now, I've moved back, I've shouted a command. This forces the attacker to show their cards. If they stay where they are and they don't follow me, great, I can carry on de-escalating. We can carry on trying to rationalise and talk things out. If he follows me, well, now the threat has just increased exponentially and I need to defend myself. So if he's followed you, the aggression's coming and you need to be able to do one of the following things. A, be able to run faster than the aggressor. B, be prepared to hit them first. We always recommend hit them first rather than wait to be hit. There is no rule in law that says you have to wait for somebody to hit you before you defend yourself. We can argue about it all day in the comments. It's written in black and white. If you're not confident in your ability to hit someone, then I suggest you carry an improvised safety tool that you can use like a pen or a flashlight. And as an absolute last resort, if all else fails, he's going to swing for you and you need to be able to deal with it. And if you want to know exactly what to do if someone swings a punch at you, we've put together a load of different techniques for you to look at in this next video.